Tuesday morning, Jaipur, getting ready to leave to head to Agra. So it'll be a day's trip. We're going to go by a village, and we're going to eat at some home-cooked meal, whatever that is, and then get to Agra. And tomorrow will be Taj Mahal. But this is the city. This is our window, what we're looking out over. Agra, not Agra, but Jaipur. And pollution's not as bad today as it's been up till now. I think the AQI, which is the air quality index here, is about 150. LA averages around 61. The town of New Delhi, Saturday was 433, hazardous. And they're actually protesting it there because they know, many, that it's not good. But they are having to live with it. But this town here, not quite as high an index, so you can actually look out. But beyond the fog there, and we could see this yesterday, are hills. And so this is the northern central part of India.
For poor people, we charge only $10. Not because we need $10, because if you give completely free, people keep coming even they don't need it. So we just made it $10 just for the sake of having that. And it's quite expensive, that MRI, but we've got a lot of MRI machines for poor people. And in our temple, which I'll show you tomorrow, we opened 3 special counters for poor people. They can have a 40% discount on the medicines. So what we do, we buy medicine from the suppliers or pharmaceutical companies, and then they come to the temple, and those who don't want to pay more money to the pharmacist, we give you 40% discount, which they make money, and you can have from us. So that's the charity we do.
That's great.
Thousands of them. We buy thousands of medicine. You'll find a long queue, but most of people, they have prescription in the hand, and they will go and check it out. If they don't have, they will write down. If they come back day after tomorrow, we'll get you. We also run the hospital in the same complex, same MRI, same pharmacy, and then we provide food to 35,000 people every single day.
We are now on a village road, which is probably about the smallest type of road off the main highway, back into the actual country world here in India.
1,200 years old. So they had a lot of temples around this area. The main temple is where you saw outside in ruins, and they're also having a lot of statues in this whole complex. So the invaders, when they came, they saw the images of god and goddesses. You know what they did? They took the hammer and chop off every single statue. So every statue you find, either their nose are missing, their arms are missing, their chest, breast, or whole structure is missing. In the corner, now we are restoring this whole part. This part is new. You see that? They have restored it. Now they're restoring this part, and they did restore that 10 years back. When I used to come here 20 years back, you won't believe there was nothing here. It was all ruined down structure, and hundreds of statues were lying here. These are statues you can see lying everywhere. And then government got the potential of this place, and now they have put entry ticket. I paid $5 to come inside. They are restoring that. And the sad part was that, remember I told you yesterday that Biden gave 720 statues to the Indian Prime Minister when there. So a lot of statues were stolen, not from here, but these kind of places. In India, we have got thousands of places which not many people know about that, and there is nobody taking care. Because other countries have 1 monument, 2 monument, we have got million monument like that. So, and there's not enough money to look after every single monument.
People just walk away with.
So people stole statues. 1,000 years old statues, and a lot of a lot of European. That's a better way to do it. A lot of Europeans used to come to India, and they chose the statue they want with the help of locals. A lot of German collectors.
Oh, because they
Yeah.
pay them for it.
It's a step well, the concept, which is not new things. Have you heard about the 4 oldest civilization in the world? One is called Egyptian, second is called Chinese, third is called Mesopotamia, which is a modern day Syria and Iraq, and the fourth is called Indus Valley civilizations. So Indus Valley is a river which flows through India and Pakistan. It means India and Pakistan, which is one country, is the 4th oldest country, oldest civilization in the world. So we also found few things, which is step well, and we also find the mass big bathrooms there, where people can collect. So particularly this part was built for 3 reasons. One, this is called rainwater collection there. Okay, the rainwater harvesting they call it. 2, in the summertime when temperature is so hot, how the king can live. So he built few palaces below that side, which is in the summertime, the temperature is much cooler than the above, and they are close to the water level. So they believe, yeah, there's a palaces there, look at that. So you can see that when hot, waves touch the water cool, air goes inside, it's much, much cooler. And always the building, which is the basement, subterranean, are always cooler than up there. Third, this is close to a temple. So those days, people used to have a holy dip, wash themselves before they go to the temple, right? So this is the 3 reasons this was built. This whole concept is based on Indian architecture, which is, we call it Vastu Kala. So this is our interwoven of the steps together. So this is fun to look at that. But when you go up that, sometimes people confuse which step to do, and chances are there you fell down, and you won't believe. Only September, 2 months back, they opened to go there. For almost 10 years, it was not allowed. Only last September, when I came back after my holidays for 4 months, I came back, then I like, oh, you can go there. But earlier, it was not allowed. So some rooms are still having the smell of guana, I told you, the bad spook. So this was there on that side. So when I give you free time, you can go that side, but make sure don't run on any of these ones, because they are dangerous. If you fell down and there's no rescue, and then it's pretty bad. So don't be adventurous. It's good to see pictures, but don't try to be on this side. Like some part must be missing, because Hindus do not worship the broken statues. If any part of the God is missing, that is not God. God is perfect, right? Anything broken, not allowed. So this head is gone. See that every sculpture, the leg is gone, face is demolished. So this whole complex, you see that? And statues which are very nice condition, they are behind those gates. See that screen?
Oh, yeah.
Before that, it was all stolen, but now they try to put everything numbered. So they know they're keeping all the record.
Chanbari is one of those places that doesn't look real when you first see it. It drops straight down into the earth with more than 3,000 narrow steps, all arranged in a perfect zigzag pattern on 3 sides. The design is so precise and so repetitive that your eyes almost don't know where to settle. This was built over 1,000 years ago in the village of Abhaneri, long before Jaipur existed, and it served a very practical purpose in this dry region. The well-stored water, of course, but the deep, shaded interior also created natural cooling. People would come here to escape the heat, socialize, and draw water from the lowest levels. On the 4th side, you see a series of carved chambers and balconies, part of an old temple complex connected to the well. Even in its worn state, you can imagine ceremonies and daily activity happening along those platforms. Standing at the top today, everything feels still and quiet, but you get a sense of how important this structure once was to the community. It's an extraordinary piece of engineering for its time, and one of the most striking places we saw on the trip.
This was an old temple that was just completely decimated by conquering Islam. And they've been trying to pull it back together again and get things organized and make an attempt to build it back. But We are at a school out in the village. It's being funded by what's called Gate 1, I believe it is. Yeah, Gate 1 Foundation. And they are actually improving these schools. This is a new project. And this is primary, which means up to 5th grade.
Mainly because when you say private schools, they teach you in English. When a government school, they teach you start with Hindi because they say you should give education in the language that children are comfortable. But when the children send you to private schools, the main purpose is that they should learn one extra language, which is English. So,
The books down there.
10 days of Diwali festival, more or less the same. You go, I've noticed
Nice.
200 days. Okay,
Yep.
so 5 और 5 क्या आएगा 10 0 और यहाँ से 1 निकाला यह आ गया 8 8 और 5 13 3 लगाया यहाँ पर 3 का बचा 1 6 और 3 9 9 और 1 10 0 क्या बचा 1 4 और 6 और 1 7 कितना साल
Good.
कुछ किसी को पूछना है इनसे क्या पूछना है बताओ मैं हिंदी में पूछना मैं इसको इंग्लिश में बताओ क्या पूछना है what is your name she is asking
My name,
his name is Ken
Ken.
K-E-N Ken and this is the simplest English phrase everybody knows
Yes.
what is your name
Yes, what
and
is
she's happy
Good job.
to ask a basic question what's your name yes और कोई नहीं
What is yours?
आपका नाम क्या है
What is your name?
what's your name he's asking what is your name
What is your name?
आपका नाम क्या है इंग्लिश में जवाब देना my name is he said my name is Nidhi Saini
You stand.
again she used the last name which is her caste
Okay.
so I'll explain you
Good.
day after word caste and even she said very proudly Nidhi Saini Saini is her caste which come from like a Saini is a gardener caste your country name where you come
United
from?
States, America.
America
America. America, yep.
thank you
There's a lot of work to be done in the school. These stairs keep people from going up there. Grandfather.
What month is it? Mama, was it Mama's Day? Yes.
हमें रिसीव करना होता है अच्छा से मैडम हाँ सुना दे चलो अरेंज कर दो इसे सब कर दो अरेंज को मैडम जल्दी
There you go.
चलो
Like a diamond in the sky.
Sister, I want to sing with you. I want him to sing. Just put him on here.
मैं चाबी पड़ी पीछे देख तेरी बब्बी खड़ी बब्बी गई खेत में बच्चे आए पेट में पेट की दवाई
मैं सारी हिंदी में गाने अच्छे गाने सबसे गाने
गीते चाली बड़ी के कबूतरी मोटो ले ली फोटो लगन गानी तू सुतेरी आज नहीं नहीं ईद से मंगाई वो चलो मेरे राम यो काला दिखेगा
apparently they have, we ate in a nice little room there, home cooked meals. And then they have glamping here, so.
I thought attached to plumbing.
That's a bathroom? This is sink. This is the sink and the whatever.
A little air conditioner there, look at that.
No, they don't want the butterflies.
And it becomes so huge. When we took it, it was a single story and there was no wall. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And now it become this one. So now we thought we also now start with this school.
We're actually here early. We've beaten most of the lines. This place has 40 to 60,000 visitors a day. So, and yet it's still pretty crowded. Well, like most people on the planet, we use the word Taj Mahal as the epitome of excellence. Well, it's not the Taj Mahal, but it's my home. Well, anyway, this is the Taj Mahal. And certainly not disappointing. We're quite a ways away. One can see the picture or the people walking on the deck, give you a little relative size. But this thing is spectacular, quite a history. And Kim and I are finally here. We can scratch this one off our bucket list. The Taj Mahal was built in the mid-16th century by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan as a tomb for his favorite wife, Mumtaz Mahal, who died giving birth to their 14th child. Shah Jahan poured the empire's wealth into it, bringing in tens of thousands of craftsmen, master stoneworkers, and inlay specialists. Construction ran from about 1632 to 1653, and it became the signature achievement of the Mughal period. The trouble came later. Shah Jahan had 4 sons, and when he fell ill, a brutal succession fight broke out. His 3rd son, Aurangzeb, was the most capable and the most ruthless. He defeated and executed his older brother, Dara Shikoh, who was the heir apparent. After consolidating power, Aurangzeb deposed his own father, confining Shah Jahan to the Agra fort. Shah Jahan spent his last years imprisoned in a suite overlooking the Yamuna River. From there, he could see the Taj Mahal in the distance, the monument he built for Mumtaz, glowing white across the water. According to the accounts that survived, he spent much of that time looking toward it until he died, after which Aurangzeb honored his final wish and buried him beside Mumtaz inside the Taj. Took 22 years to build this thing. 22 years. 10 million rupees at the time, which today translates, if you use gold as your index, about 11 billion. I don't know if I believe that. I'm not sure you could do this for 11 billion, but because when you look at all the rubies and all that crap in it, ooh, doggy.
Walter Raleigh there. Yeah.
This is a Taj Mahal up close. Obviously, up close, it loses its grandeur. Although when you get into the details, they're still pretty magnificent. That's a mosque. Not operational. It was built there to architecturally balance that, which is a mosque. So apparently we got a real mosque over here, and then we have a mosque over here which architecturally balances it out, but has no function. Now we are in the Taj Mahal back. That would be the back of the Taj Mahal. So we got the Taj Mahal front, Taj Mahal, and the Taj Mahal back. This is along a river, which I will figure out what it is later, but it is the second most sacred river in India, behind the Ganges. And of course you can see our typical India fog equals smog. I don't know if this is fog or smog. When I smell it, there's not too bad, but I'm getting used to it. So It may well be fog, I don't know. It is a cool morning, so it could be just high percentage humidity. The art form used on the Taj was pietra dura, a nearly lost craft that involves carving precise cavities into marble, then inlaying them with hand-cut gemstones like lapis, jade, carnelian, and onyx. Each tiny piece is shaped on a grinding wheel, fitted perfectly, and polished flush, so the surface feels like a single sheet of stone. The local Makrana marble, an unusually pure white, was ideal for this work. As the craft faded over the centuries, India made a deliberate effort to revive it. Workshops around Agra trained new artisans using the same tools, stones, and techniques as the original Mughal craftsmen. Today they produce exquisite inlay pieces that keep the Taj Mahal's traditional skills alive.
Nearly 26 petals having this flower. They always try to give a naturality, so they always make the parts of the designs. But you will be surprised to know that this is just a common flower. It's not an intricate design. Every artisan can create it. If we compare it to the mature workmanship, the fine workmanship, look at this one here. There are some small flowers here. The blue one. This blue one is having 32 petals. This blue one is having 32 petals, and another blue one is having 29 petals. So this is.
We're going to get ready to buy this right here. And it's a Taj Mahal made in white marble right near the Taj Mahal, made by the same artisans that are continuing the artisan tradition from the Taj Mahal. And they're doing this in order to maintain it since they're not going to be building any more Taj Mahals. About 25 days to make. Did it take about 25 days to make this? We are entering an area here called Fort Agra. The fellow who built the Taj Mahal was imprisoned here by his son. I think a few years after he built the Taj Mahal, was imprisoned here for 8 years. And he could look out his window and see Taj Mahal, but he couldn't go to it. His son, he was number 2. He was supposed to be the king, so he goes off and kills his older brother, and then puts his dad into prison, and then takes over, and he reigns for 50 years. So it's a pretty ruthless guy.
This is called Hall of Public Audience. You remember, we have already spoken about Hall of Public Audience in Jaipur, but I showed you in the column we had elephant heads, lotus flower hanging there. I told you the story of the 7 rounds around the fire. We married for 7 lives. So this is the same kind of courtyard, but they have the beautiful carpet. They have wine. They are not wine bottles. They are pictures. They have got flowers. They have exotic things. And this is where the king received petition, complaint, suggestion, reading from the public. And public is never allowed to enter the main palace area. This is like a court of justice on the higher level. Sometimes some cases comes which are very serious. He needs some advice. Who is the advisor? Apart from him, apart from the minister, is a woman. So he invites his close favorite wives, and they can come also, they can listen, and then he can do the judgment. So those windows windows are for the women. Yeah. So women, they sit behind, and there's a curtains. So they can see what's happening in the courtyard, but nobody can see who's sitting behind that. You see that both sides, they have doors, they have entrance. So women can come and listen. If some serious cases comes, and then he can advise to the king. So that's the seat for the emperor. So any petition, complaint, suggestion, greetings, it all comes from that common man to the prime minister. See the prime minister at the bottom? He needs to read out loudly, king can listen, then he can do all the judgment. So
Can't get away from the graffiti. They've had to wall off areas here just because of the folks doing the graffiti. Amazing. So we got a great lecture on hermaphrodites who also were eunuchs, and they took 5,000 to guard around 215 concubines that lived in this area, and the king would show up, and he had his wife. In fact, his wife actually would live right in this area right here. He lived there with his wife, but then he met all his concubines over in here and out here in the field. And he had around 215 of them, and they were not allowed to leave. They had to stay even when he took off, went hunting, and the king was pretty much the guy that controlled the army. So in the case of the guy who built the Taj Mahal, he was in control of the army, but he lost control of it to his second son, who killed son number one. And then since he actually controlled the army, he was actually the king. He threw his dad in prison for 8 years, and his dad was put in prison right underneath that dome right there. And so he was there for 8 years, and he could look out at the Taj Mahal, which he had built for his wife, for her tomb, but he couldn't go to it. So he had a really shitty son. So anyway, but the life. Oh, and then when the king would die, his own concubine, sometimes they'd be kept around by the next ruler, but sometimes the ruler said, "No, I want my own concubine." So what they would do is he would go off and get a bunch of old, new concubines. So what happened to the old ones? Well, oftentimes rich families would take them on because, well, it's good enough for the king, it's good enough for me. So they would take them in as a concubine. Sometimes, many times, they actually formed into a league and they became prostitutes because they were so experienced, and everybody wanted to basically screw them. So they would actually have brothels set up by former concubines of the king. So crazy world, I tell you, by our standards. Another interesting thing he was talking about were these people that are born hermaphrodites. As soon as they hear that you've had a son, they will appear, I've forgotten how many days after, to check the sex of the son, and then they will give you a bill. You've got to pay them, or they will curse you. And the superstitions are so strong here that people will pay to not be cursed. Now, they don't do this to the daughters, they only do this for the sons. So these guys will actually pay, it's a ransom, and they'll curse you, and they'll curse them and say that they will come back as hermaphrodites like they are. So they believe it, the population believes it, so they'll pay the fine. So that's how these guys are able to stay alive. And we saw some beggars on the street that were actually hermaphrodites, and you could tell, our guide could tell. He just understands, the way these guys look. But they dress up as women but look a lot like men. It's quite interesting. And he had an interesting personal story with his own. He has 2 daughters, and he's really trying to break them away from this societal pressure to have women as meek little things. He sent his number 1 daughter to Australia for her degree. She just graduated. His number 2 daughter is in her first year of college, and he's trying to let them learn how to be their own women and make their own minds up. And the whole story of his marriage is fascinating. I'll go over that later on. There's a high school group, local, that are over here to see the sights. And out in the distance is the Taj Mahal. Different viewpoint from it. The Yamuna River there, I think is what it's called. And this is pretty much the view that the old man had of his own creation after his son threw him in prison. Just the absolute detail work in this room. All marble. This is the similar type of very ornate work that we got on that table we bought. You can see where guys have tried to carve things out of there. Look at that. Isn't that something? Look at that. So this is called the Baby Taj Mahal. That's the vernacular. Although it has a really long name that's Persian. That's a little bit difficult for me to remember. but this has a lot of quality. But I think this was actually built before the Taj Mahal.
In English, it means pillar of the nation, which means the tomb of the Prime Minister. So this tomb was built by the wife of the 4th Mughal. who was the stepmother of Shah Jahan, who built the Taj Mahal. So this building was built 25 years before the Taj Mahal. This was built between 1622 to 1628, took only 6 years to build, and Taj Mahal was built in 1653. So precisely this was built 25 years. So this was built not as a Mughal tomb. The people, the person, the family is buried, they are not Mughals. They were from Persia, from Iran. The story goes on. There was a gentleman from Iran and he lost his status. He was not a rich man, he was a poor man. He heard about India. He said, why don't I try my luck in India, which he heard about. It's a flourishing country, it's a golden goose country. So he started traveling his journey from Iran, from Persia, all the way to India. And that time his wife was pregnant. So halfway when they reached near Kabul, near Afghanistan, so his wife delivered the baby. But they were so poor, they could not afford to bring the baby all the way to India also. So they handed over baby to another caravan. So say we'll meet up in Delhi, in India, and please take care of our children, our child. So the caravan brought the baby. In the meantime, they also reached Delhi, and then they met, and baby was handed over to the family. Somehow, this guy who was poor, he was able to reach in the court of the fourth Mughal, right? And then this is a big story of rags to riches. The man who started empty-handed from Iran, and all the way he came to India, and he became the prime minister in the court. It's a big story, okay? And later on, this young girl who was born, and she also reached the status of the queen, and she became the wife of the fourth Mughal. So she was the stepmother of Shah Jahan, who built the Taj Mahal. Her name was Noor Jahan. Noor means light, Jahan means universe. This is a title given by husband to his wife, like Taj Mahal. They got a title called Mumtaz Mahal. So she got a title from her husband, Noor Jahan. So time goes, it says that she was very powerful lady, and she is the one, practically she was ruling India, not the fourth Mughal. It is also that her husband was busy drinking wine or having opium, and she is the one who taking all the major decisions. So when his father died, she was very powerful. She can afford to build a great monument like this one. So this is called Itmat-ud-Dawla, the tomb of the Persian family, not the Mughal family. Here there's something very unusual which you don't see in the Islamic buildings. What is unusual, you don't see in the Islamic building the wine bottles, goblets or perfume bottles. And she's the one who introduced special perfumes. I remember that Angela, she bought a little extract of flowers in the museum, very nice one. She's the one who introduced which is called Itr. Itr means concentrated extract of the flowers. If you go to Turkey, go to Grand Bazaar, they're also selling so many colorful bottles there, which is also extracts of flowers. So she introduced this art. That's why when this building was constructed, she chose a lot of symbolic things. She chose wine bottles, she chose goblets, and she also chose the perfume bottle. And they have designs everywhere in the whole complex. But what she did, she put together all the images inside, outside, and compiled on every gate. Look at this one. This gate has all the designs. Can you see that? Every single design you see over there, it's compiled on that side. Okay. Now we're gonna see inside and come this way. Hello. Come on, guys. Intricate, different semi-precious stones are inlaid. These are different colorful rocks. Okay, they are nicer. They look very nice from a distance. When you come closer, they are nicer, but you can't compare with the Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal, I told you, is one of the finest inlaid work in the world. They are different colorful, white granite are inlaid in the white marble.
Itmat-ud-Dawla's tomb was built by Noor Jahan, the most influential woman of the Mughal court. She gained power by controlling trade in luxury goods, especially wine, perfume, jewels, and fine textiles. Inside the tomb, you see painted wine bottles and elegant dishes reflecting that world of wealth and refinement. The entire structure became a showcase of her authority
and the taste she brought to the empire. So we're at a little party here in Agra. What does it feel like?
What?
Is it dry?
What?
Is it dry?
I think so.
So while we've been watching a little bit of Indian music stuff, actually hop music, not traditional, we've been figuring out money. It's quite interesting that the Nepal money and Indian money will be worthless in the United States. Nobody exchanges them. So we had gotten out a substantial amount of cash, thinking we owed a little bit more than we did, about $246. So our basic game will be to pay everything out of cash for the remainder of this trip till we leave on Monday, which should not be a problem. And we'll do our exchange to Nepal money tomorrow when we're in Nepal. And then anything we buy, we're going to buy with cash and try to avoid the card so we can try to go home with close to zero on cash. One thing I've got to say, Gate 1, they certainly gave us a great bus. The one we've been on the whole trip so far. And I mean, this thing goes down the middle of the most wicked streets you ever saw and does highway work. It's air conditioned, seats are comfortable, plenty of room. I have to say it's a really great unit. We are getting ready to go to a Sikh temple, and that is the church of our guide. Devender, our guide, is of the Sikh religion. He has been telling us that we would be visiting his own temple. Today is the day.
And that's a discovery tour of
Evidently, music is constant. It starts at 4:30 in the morning and ends at 10 at night. So it's constant music and a constant feeding of something like 30,000 people a day, all coming from the tithing of the members of this church. Their whole idea is to benefit mankind and humanity. I believe we may be entering into the kitchen, if I'm not mistaken.
Extra rice pudding. See, they have three things. The white is a dessert. They have dessert. They have lentils, and they have got yogurt-based curry. So they have got lentil also. Today they also have got. So you can eat as much you want. Did you notice one thing? That 90% people, those who are eating, they are not Sikhs. They are Hindus or any other religion. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't ask. So 90% in the temples, those who are eating, they won't be a Sikh. Okay? So they are students, they are villagers, they come from small town, maybe poor, maybe not poor, maybe rich, maybe middle class, everybody. We don't check what religion, what caste, what faith you are. We want two things. Wash your hands, remove your shoes, cover your head, and come inside. That's it.
I believe we are nearing the kitchen here, where all this food for 30,000 a day is prepared. Here we go. Yeah, look at that.
Sometimes they've got 50,000 people come to eat. So there are less people are making. We use this machine. They are tortilla making machine. You know tortilla? So Indian bread is look like a tortilla. So we put dough and it goes roll down. So there comes down there. If you need more, you got one more machine. And this is all done for the lentil. This is lentil cooking. Don't touch anything, it's hot. Don't worry. This is for the bread.
We walk through water to clean our feet before entering the temple area.
Yeah.
Okay guys, so this lights up for the festival we had 2 weeks back, Diwali, and then we have another festival of our birthday of one of our Guru.
The vendor told us about the period during COVID when he and his wife were struggling financially and unsure whether they could afford to send their daughter to college in Australia. They agonized over the decision. His wife went to the temple seeking guidance, and in that quiet moment, she felt a clear answer. That was the turning point, and they moved ahead with confidence.
If you are fully covered and your wash taken shower is not like dirty and you've done. So she prayed. So she said, I want answer. She thought in mind, shall I send my daughter or not? And then she opened the page. The first sentence was saying that your daughter, well, I mean, this is the whole saying, explanation. In simple words, don't be afraid to take a new step in your life. God is with you. Go ahead. So she said, no, now not going back. I'm sending it.
So this is the monastery prayer, but they have individual prayer rooms upstairs. And you have a problem, you walk up, you open the book, and the book will open right to the page with whatever answer you need. And that's quite interesting how this works.
When I was 10 years old.
So they can get on that like a bosun chair on a mass, call themselves up, and they can change something up there, and people get on a long list for the right to do it.
And butter oil, which we call it ghee, clarified butter. Okay, so this is we all eat it. If anybody want to share, you're most welcome.
It's blessing, right? I need all the blessings like
Yes, it's sweet.
Oh, yeah, I've had some. It's not as sweet as it is in the morning time. Blessing, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not overweight.
Anybody else? If not, nobody else?
We are currently at Novotel in Aero City, India. Tomorrow we'll be flying out to Nepal, and we'll be leaving on the bus around 7, heading to the airport. We've got a 10:10 flight, about an hour and a half to Kathmandu, and then we'll figure it out from there. Let me look at your arm. This is from last night. She got the henna, and pretty cool. And I don't know how long it's going to last. I have a feeling it's going to last a long time.
I hope
I
not.
could be wrong.
I hope not.
Western influence reaches everywhere, and India is no exception. Even with its own languages, history, and distinct faces, you can see the Western imprint in modern Indian life, especially on television. The pacing, camera work, dramatic style, even the talk show format, all carry a familiar Western rhythm.
एक सलाह देती हूँ, तुम जवान हो दोबारा शादी तो करोगे ही, लेकिन जिस लड़की के साथ भी दोबारा शादी करो, उस गरीब को कभी किसी के सामने जलील मत करना। अब क्या करेंगे?
You still hear Hindi or regional languages, and the cultural cues are unmistakably Indian, but the presentation style mirrors what you'd see in the US or Europe. It's the byproduct of global media, streaming platforms, and decades of cultural crossover. India remains India, but the Western touch is woven into the fabric. This is my bride in her new Indian dress. Looks nice. I like that. Yeah. My girl, the adventurer. There's our little farewell dinner here in India before we all head off to Nepal. About 6 of us are leaving, heading back to the US or to various other parts of India, and then the rest of us are going to head up to Kathmandu. This is actually our last night in India. We will be out of here in the morning at about 7 o'clock and in the air by 10 and on our way to Kathmandu. But quite an experience, unique. I recommend this to anybody. India is this place that you hear about, and you summarize it as a name, and you put it off to the side, but to actually get into it, and actually to see the people and the lifestyles and the superstitions or religions, and these folks live life. Interesting. That's one of my takeaways. Their confront of fellow humans is high.
the street beggars and the street salesmen are high front level, and the driving is crazy. There's almost like a sixth sense these guys have that keeps them from running into each other. I did not observe in any vehicle I was in or any that I was near a single collision, and yet things were operating within centimeters of each other. But the people are, there's a lifeness here to India that you don't see in the United States. In the United States, there's a lot more of a pervasive sleepiness, is the way I would put it. Conservative, they don't have a lot to say. They're confronted with other humans. It's not I. That's certainly a generality. It's not everybody, but over here you see a general high confronted humans to each other. Their lives are haphazard and busy and running, and they're into religions and into superstitions, and they have beliefs. They have styles of operation, cultural things that they accept as being true, whether they're true or not. To them, it's true, and it operates. And it's just a fascinating culture to see, and I really like them. I like the people. I wouldn't want to live here. And even coming back, I'm not sure we'll come back to India, but I will say that this is a place well worth visiting, and it gives you another viewpoint of humanity, and you realize that we in the United States are ethnocentristic by design almost. Our culture is so connected up to ourselves that we forget that there's a massive world. And if you go to England or any of the European countries, you'll get a lot of Westernness. Here, though there is a Western influence, this place is completely different. And to come over here and experience an area where 1.5 billion people live, and the way they set it up, and we're talking thousands and thousands of years, cultures, so ingrained into the people, it's just amazing. So highly recommended. We're really enjoying it. We're glad we went to India. Looking forward to Nepal, and I'm definitely looking forward to putting together a really nice video that's going to summarize this whole thing.